This is Phil, and Phil is the Senior Manager for Community Pathways,
Well done.
which a part of that is he looks after the Westcare Centre, which we're quite familiar with.
The place I always start with Westcare is what we call our pathway statement, which is we're a community of faith, hope and love seeking to end homelessness, improve health and wellbeing and lead generational change. So our focus is really on ending somebody's homelessness. So that can be through the formal services we provide, whether it's case management, connection at the Westcare Centre, improving health and wellbeing is the Westcare Health Service that we have on site, which is a partnership model, working with other organisations who bring their expertise to Westcare, a place that people trust, to then access the health services that they need. And one of the reasons we've done that, and the example I use, is that I don't shop at David Jones. You know, look at me, I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't feel comfortable in there. Our community don't feel comfortable in mainstream health services. So we've brought health services to a place that people trust. And so that's the work that we do there. And then the leading generational change is where we work with school students. So we have over 1,000 high school students come through the site every year to learn about homelessness and in some ways playing the long game, you know, wanting to plant that seed, believing that homelessness is a solvable problem. So how can we inspire the next generation about doing what my generation hasn't? You know, you only need to walk through the city and see that homelessness is real. When I believe it's solvable, how can we inspire the next generation to be the change so that we can end it in this state?
So we're promoting people to support this donation of hot breakfast through winter, bacon, eggs and porridge, and I'll give some proper information about how to give this week. But tell us about this.
Firstly, thank you, Jace, for your support of this as well. One of the things that we are really passionate about at Westcare is the opportunity to start to build connection with people over a good meal. One of the stories I love to tell is that the chef at Westcare also cooks for the Indian cricket team when they come to Adelaide. So our city's chef for our city's rough sleeper also cooks for one of the largest sporting teams on the planet. So we provide good quality food. And so the opportunity you've got is to partner with us in that so that we can provide a good, nice, warm breakfast. You know, it's been cold over the last, little while. And you can imagine if you've spent the night on the street, it is cold. So coming in, having a nice, warm breakfast is something that we see as important, not just to meet that immediate need, but so that we can also connect with people to connect them into other services as well. So, what I often say is I put my grumpy pants on if we get called a soup kitchen. Yes, the meal is important, absolutely. And that's the opportunity that we've got today, is to give to that. But then the role of my team is to then connect with people over that warm breakfast so that we can then discover what people's needs might be, what their goals might be for what's next, so that we can then journey with people to having a healthier, more fulfilling life.
How many do you think would have been sleeping rough last night?
So in the city, it would be, a touch over 200 people in the city. We know within South Australia it's over 6,000 people, but that includes other people who might also be in cars and couch surfing and things like that. But in terms of sleeping in the parklands last night, it was probably around 200.
Now, you and I were talking just before, and you said something I think is pretty important to convey. What kind of funding goes to Westcare?
Sure. So the Westcare Centre itself gets $0 from government. The Westcare Centre itself is funded through the generosity of the Baptist movement and our community partners. So it's people like you that enable us to then facilitate the things that we do at Westcare. So the formal homelessness case management service, that gets some money from the government. The work we do with young people in schools, that gets some work from government. Connecting people into social connections gets money from government. But that important crisis work that we do from Westcare completely relies on the generosity of our community.